Thanks for joining me on my birthday for the virtual car show. I also wanted to make this a fundraiser for the Sherman Heights Community Center. I think last I checked, it was like $650 or something already. So those of you that have contributed, I appreciate it. We'll start with you, Alex.
I'm Alex, and so I've got a 1979 911 SC Target. I'm not gonna show you much on the inside because it's a little dirty, a little dusty right now. The engine's actually out of it, being rebuilt right now at the mechanic. This car originally was purchased by my mom back in like 1984, 85. She passed away. She wanted me to keep it, so I've held on to it, all these years, and started using it. I learned to drive, manual on this. I was 15, 16 years old. I've rebuilt the engine. Now this will be the second time we've rebuilt it, and the transmission. It's pretty clean. It's all stacked, all factory. It's a 3-liter, flat 6.
What up, Booyah?
What up? So I have a 2017 Camaro with the 1LE track package. I got into muscle cars. Hey guys, relax. My dog's again. I got into muscle cars as soon as my dad had a Super Sport Impala, a 67. Wish we'd have kept it, but we didn't. I will be looking for a Ramfla, a real one. So if you guys see anything that's worth investing into, let me know. I do want.
Well, you got that connection with Mike and the Illegales too, though.
Yeah, I know, and he's kind of been like showing me things here and there, hinting to me that you should get this, you get that, but I'll be a little selective on the rights, and when I'm ready, I'll jump on it.
All right, let's move on to.
Why are you driving?
What's up?
It looks like he's driving.
Didn't you know it was supposed to start at 5?
Yeah, no, I was running late, so. Yeah, Bubba, you want to just tell us a little bit about your ride, real quick?
So here's my ride. It's a 1966 Chevy Impala.
Nice.
Just had probably I've been having it worked on for like the last 3 years. Ralph, I can test a few trips down to Mexico with me.
Some media tacos.
Well, mainly we went for the tacos, and the car would just happen to be there, so there's an excuse. But yeah, I've had this car for I don't know, like 18 years, and just that for a while, and then I finally got someone to help me work on it. But took it down to TJ, had it painted a black cherry pearl, had the interior done in there, got a little tan interior that I have working on. I still got some interior parts that I need to replace, but they're hard to come by with this car. So whenever I can score some parts, I try to keep an eye out. It runs and everything, but I need to get some new tires before I take it out on the street. So right now, like I said, it's just luckily been sitting in the garage, been able to cover and stay out the avoid the bad weather these days. So
around. Hey everybody, my name is Richard Rangel. My dad. What? These are our cars. Everybody asks us what car club we're in, and I always count father and son. But right here is what you got is a 65 Malibu Super Sport. Numbers matching, which means that it's very rare from the year. Everything from the hubcaps to the factory AC. The paint is the original fire engine red that came out of it in factory. The great part is we still got that 327 turbo fire engine in there. The painting was done by Wild Bill. If any of you know who Wild Bill is from the Inland Empire, you know what he does. We got our beautiful, elegant music. Me and my pops, we play a lot of music. Let's see if we can get it in there. It's not too sunny right now where we have it parked, but the whole top has a ice pearl red in it from all on the top. So when it hits the sun, it just glimmers. So yeah, he's got a beautiful, almost fully stocked original 65 Chevy Malibu. Now I'll show you the engine. Brand new, rebuilt, 327. All done. Still got the original stickers and everything. You have the car key? And I'll show you guys something that you probably won't see with a number matching car. Here, show them that car key real quick. Here's the original dealer key on it.
Wow. Nice.
Where the key came from. But we got something a little special in there. My dad actually has some bags on this one, so it gets up pretty quick. Later on, we'll show you a little something on that. But it lays, it pops up pretty quickly. See if we can catch a little flake. I don't know if I can get it to glimmer for you on the photo, but let me take you to the inside. Inside rides like a couch, fellas. This thing is smooth, power steering, AC, is your everything.
Cherry,
yeah. Yeah, we've the special story on this is me and my dad actually painted this car. We've built this car, pretty much everything you see we've worked on. So that one's been in our family for quite a while. And then you got the 48 Fleet Line 4-door. Everybody's familiar with the 2-door 48 Fleet Lines, but here's a 4-door. Everybody asks me, hey, what is that? So fellas, pop quiz, what is that? Is that a speaker?
Right, that's some high-tech AC.
That's right. So for all you folks out there coming in live right now, if you ever go to a car show, no, that's not a speaker. It's actually it's an AC. So you put the ice cubes in here, and the air goes through, and then when you come on in, there's a vent right in there. Comes right out. So here's the inside of the 48. You can tell these are little couches. Got that beautiful steering wheel everybody loves, the dash, the radios, the clocks, the ticket dispenser. Got
Those ACs actually keep it cool inside.
yeah, they'll keep it cool.
nice.
And then some of the stuff that people don't know about, we got our skirts. So we got our skirts on there that aren't factory. That was a deluxe model piece that came off that. You have your fender guides that light up at night. Got the factory correct wire loom in there. You know, people like that. We just me and my dad actually just dropped in this 235. It came with the 216, so we got this, and just actually about a month ago, just finally put this in. Brand new piping on everything that we ran. Got that beautiful one wire alternator in there. And then the part that everybody loves, the front. Rocking the fogs and the wraparounds.
Nice.
Yeah, I've got the straight pipes. Got to have the raccoon tail when you're cruising. And then, you know, when you got to shine a little light on something, got that spotlight going. And then, oh, hey, you know, for after hours, got it going. And then when you really need to get people out of the way,
Nice.
there ain't nothing better than coming into a car show, downshifting, letting the pipes go, and letting that roll. Everybody knows you're there. So
Very cool.
that's us, 48 Fleet Line, wraparound,
All right, well,
star.
we'll come back for a little more detail on those. Let Ray do a little quick intro, and then I'll do one.
What's up, fellas? Ray Flores, in a 65 Cadillac Sedan Deville. It's a 4-door, no post, hardtop. Third owner on the car. I bought it with about 69,000 miles. I'm at 73,000 on there right now, and I've had it for close to 10 years. I have had the engine rebuilt. There's still the original 429 in there. It's a gas guzzler, but it travels real nice. It's like a living room. Still the original paint. It's called the Cape Ivory. It's kind of like off-white cream color. Interior is like a brick red orange, which I used to hate, but I've kind of grown to like it now. It's pretty clean on the interior. I'll show you real quick what it looks like inside and out. The seats have some tears on them, but overall it's pretty good. Check it out.
Nice.
Got a little chandelier to cruise with. Show you some of the exterior. See what that looks like.
Oh yeah.
Nothing custom to it, not a lowrider, just all original car. Pretty clean overall. Like I said, I've had it probably about 10 years. I've enjoyed it. Bought it to sell it at first. I wanted to get a Lincoln Continental. Ended up with this car because it was a good deal. And then as soon as I bought it, I put it on Craigslist to sell it. Once people started coming over to check it out and buy it, I had a change of heart, and I've had it ever since.
Nice. All right, let me. I'll go next. Let me jump on with my phone. So.
Hey, are you driving or is the background just a loop?
Outside now. What's that? What?
Oh, man, he's cruising. It just happens to be that same trash can he passes every time.
Oh. Yeah, I was massaging your feet earlier. Let me finish with this.
All right, I'm back to cruising. So that was my quick intro. My car's two places at one time. So yeah, I guess the next question is just what's your favorite thing about your ride? And if anyone else joins us, we'll just go through the same things, but we'll just we'll start with Richard. What would you say that your favorite thing about each ride is? And
Oh man, you know that for me the favorite thing about the 48 is it has to be the straight pipes, man. When you're going down the street and you're just letting those pipes go, and you just back off the gas and hear them rumble down, and everybody just turns. That has to be the best part about this 48 right here. Yeah. And then let's see, and then you know the. When you hear that sound, everybody knows what's coming down. And then the Malibu has to be the airbags. You know, they're just fun. You're coming up in a car that looks totally stock, and people don't expect it. And you pop those airbags, and that thing flies up. And man, they see all that flake, man. So those are my two favorite things about these cars right here.
all right, let's what's Will's favorite thing about his ride? What's your favorite thing, Will?
Speed. I love speed. This car just has enough horsepower just to go to 0-60 under 4 seconds. I've taken it up to 150. Yeah, I was being stupid, but anyways, I was yeah. Speed and suspension has magnetic ride suspension, so it handles very well, about 1,000 times a second. So yeah, the control, the braking, the brakes got has Brembo 6-piston brakes up front. The technology on these cars is incredible. It has PDR, performance data recorder, so it tells you everything about what you're doing. You can even go on your computer, and it tells you, you can compare laps after laps, what you did different, where you went wrong, where you pressed the brake, go too soon or too hard, or you're coming into a corner too fast. Like these things they tell you everything. If they could drive themselves, it'd be awesome. They're pretty much almost there, but yeah, that's pretty much it.
Nice. And you race it, right?
Yes, I do.
Very cool. All right, let's go on to Bubba. What's your favorite thing about your ride?
Well, at the moment, like I said, I haven't really been able to enjoy it too much on the streets. So I can't say a whole lot about the driving aspect of it. But I mean, I don't know. I've just always liked these cars for, like, you know, the lines on it. It's a big ass boat, you know, and it's just kind of like, aside from, you know, the environment, it's like you're like in your own environment in this thing, you know. It's like no one could come around you. It takes up all the space, and what I'm most looking forward to, like I said, I'm just trying to get me some batteries up in here so then I can get some switches and do a little hopping in it. But mostly, like I said, I'm just looking forward to being able to enjoy, you know, cruising around in it, you know, like slow life down, let it go.
You want to show us the interior? I guess like a quick peek of your interior. Bubba,
What'd you say?
you want to show us your interior?
So, like I said, I just had the interior done, all tan going around. I still got a little bit of a few moldings and lines. I need to add my little center dash and fix some of the console, but, you know, stripped it down, painted it completely. I had everything from the ground up, worked on and painted. So hopefully, like I said, pretty soon I can just get some tires. Just taking on my time right now, but yeah, it's been years in the making.
Awesome. All right, Alex, you want to tell us what your favorite thing about your ride?
Sorry, I had to unmute you there. But I think, you know, definitely the target top. It's probably my favorite physical feature about the car, just because you know, living in Southern California, target top's pretty fun. You know, driving it just dropping it down in the third gear and going 80, 90 miles an hour on the freeway. That's probably my favorite thing about driving the car. But so I don't know. It's a fun car to drive. It's not the fastest car, like I said, but it's a fun car.
Nice. And then go on Ray. What's your favorite thing about your ride, Ray?
It's a boat. I love the fact that it's a boat. It's all original. Makes me feel like I'm in the movie Casino or something. It like demands respect. I love that about it. There's an attitude to the car.
Nice. You got the little chandelier going for a little extra
Yeah.
touch, for some elegance, you know?
Yep.
Very cool. All right, I'll go next with my phone. Let me mute myself here so I don't get an echo. No, that's fine.
Can't hear you, Rafa.
Yeah, so that was the. Hold on, let me. Turn off the. All right. No. Hold up. Trying to turn off audio. That's muted. All right. So what I was saying is my favorite part about the ride is probably the grill. I put in the Corvette grill, and that's probably my favorite feature. Just something that makes it different, makes it stand out. Definitely adds some character. You know, I have the original 216 in there, so you know, Bubba just dropped off. He had to deal with the kids, but I got a couple other people who texted me trying to jump on. So, but yeah, I think, you know, that'd be my favorite part. I guess we'll go on to something interesting. If any of you have an interesting story about your ride, you share that now. So I can start with Alex.
No, I was just gonna say, Rafa, you know, when we did that drive-by birthday party for Erica a couple of days ago, I mean, you definitely got everybody's attention. I don't know, was that a downshift that you did?
No, that was just stepping on the gas. It's got a split manifold with the main exhaust is a straight pipe out the back, and then the split on the manifold has a glass pack on it, so it has two alternating sounds. It's almost the sound of a straight pipe with a little bit of a wrap to it. So yeah, you could also do that sound by downshifting or just by giving it gas and neutral.
Yeah, it was when you rolled up, I mean, it got everybody's attention, and that was probably like, that was a pretty cool portion of the drive-by birthday party, which Erica was, you know, so appreciative of everybody and you guys for stopping by.
Yeah, it's funny. Richard did a drive-by birthday party on the same day. It's funny. He posted his picture, so I responded with a photo of a screenshot from your video.
Nice.
So it's, you know.
I'll have to send you the whole portion of the video I took of you driving by because it was good.
Awesome.
Right.
Right.
As far, I can't think of I don't know, maybe someone else has a story and then you can come back to me because I can't think of a particular story right now.
You got any interesting stories, Ray?
Not really. Maybe very first year that I've owned the car, actually before even, like, I guess looking into it, I just kind of started driving it around, and I remember like wanting to go to a car show, and I've always wanted to check out Route 66. So my first car show was cruising Route 66 in Ontario. This was maybe 2010 or 11. Ended up driving up there, and then thought everything was fine. Ended up getting stuck up there. I think the oil pump went out on it. Had to get the car towed back. That was a nice hefty tow bill from there. So that's when I ended up having to get the engine rebuilt. They had just messed everything up. That was my fault because I bought the car and I didn't check or do anything. I started driving it. The guy that had it, it's a daily driver for him, but he used to work pretty close to home. So he never had any issues. And again, it was just my fault for trusting it. But yeah, that's probably about the most interesting story. Yeah, everything's been smooth sailing since then. Actually, that's a lie. So when I had the car, I didn't want to put a different engine on there. Everyone kept pushing me to do a 350, all the mechanics. So what ended up happening was I ended up waiting about 3 or 4 years before I found someone that was willing to rebuild the 429. apparently they were a pain in the ass to work on and get the parts and do everything. So it was either going to be super pricey or I was going to have to just drop in a 350, which I refused to do. The car's original. I wanted to keep it 100% original. So push came to shove. I ended up finding a guy off Craigslist. Said he would get my car repaired. He was a mobile mechanic that had a shop, but he had a chance to come out and take a look at my car without having to tow it to his yard. Everything seemed fine. Everything worked out. We came to a pretty good deal for him to do the repairs. The deal was I'd get to drive the car out of his lot with an engine rebuilt. Push out about 6 months or so, and he calls me to let me know that the car's ready. So I'll come out and pick up the car, and he's like, "Hey, where's the tow truck?" I'm like, what do you mean, where's the tow truck? He's like, "Yeah, the car's ready, but it ain't running." I said, what do you mean it ain't running? He's like, "Well, the tranny's fucked up." I said, "I asked you to fix it completely. Like, with the tranny, I want to drive it out of there. How come you didn't call me, let me know so we can do the repairs, or so I know what to expect?" So guy ended up saying, "Well, it's not my fault. I want the car out of here." I don't know why or how it turned sour, but he wanted the car out of there pretty quickly. I had to scramble around a little bit to find a tow truck, turn the car on, and as soon as we turned the car on to see how the engine sounded, the car started leaking a bunch of gas. So it turns out we needed to replace the rubber. It was like the rubber piece on the gas line. Also, another thing he didn't look at. He's like, "Well, you didn't pay me for that, so I wasn't going to look into it." It ended up being like this whole sour thing about it. Ended up being lucky enough to have my brother have a friend that lived a couple blocks up the road. I happened to have a pretty nice yard to keep my car there. Kept it there a few months before I towed it down to TJ to get the transmission work done. It did a really good job down there. The transmission, rebuilt my radiator, redid the brakes. Everything was super cheap, but it was a pain in the ass nonetheless. Yeah, I'm still upset about that story. So yeah, that's about as interesting as it gets, but pain in the ass story for sure.
Cool. You got any stories about either ride?
Oh, sorry, was that one to me?
Yeah, so you got any interesting stories about your rides?
Yeah, man. Talk about breakdowns. You know, you become a really good mechanic owning old cars. You know, I think every time we go out, we always come back with some kind of story. Most of you guys saw how we did our little birthday drive-by, and you know, this last weekend, and I took it out to Norco, drove it out there, you know, and I was lucky enough. I came right back, and I was getting off the freeway, and the car started locking up. And so, talking about Route 66, I used to own a 51 Fleetline, and the first time I took that out to Route 66, the tranny locked up, and I learned how to change a transmission real quick, because those registrations aren't cheap. So we changed the tranny, put a new one in, or a new old one, and took it cruising. But you know, I pretty much kind of shared the history on both of these cars. You know, I think the best stories I have is that I'm just able to cruise with my pops, with my family. So every time these cars come out, the family's together. The family's together. We're going somewhere. The kids are hopping around and excited. And, you know, my wife's getting dressed up. My dad's, you know, waxing up his car and just getting everything going. And so, you know, every time we go out, it's a great time. And, you know, for any of you guys out there in the community watching this right now, if you have an old car, if you have a car and you're trying to figure out if you're ever gonna fix it up, you will. Believe it or not, this red car right here, we got it beat up, non-running, paint messed up. Matter of fact, that whole quarter panel was crashed in. And, you know, we took our time and just worked these cars out, and they're up and running. And, you know, in the back, you can't see it, but in about a year, you'll see it. We got a 70 convertible Impala. We just finished doing the body work on, and we actually cut that out, put hydraulics in. So Ray, when you're ready, come holler at us. We'll hook you up, you know. And so, man, that's my story. You know, just want to throw it out there to anybody watching, any of the community. You know, if you want a positive influence to take your time up and to get focused in, man, these old cars are just cars in general, just a beautiful thing to spend your time with and on, because once you get them going, man, you just get out there on the road and people love them. People love them. So I encourage anybody that's thinking about getting an old car or that has an old car that's just sitting there, don't get rid of it. Start working on it.
So I'll let me just take off the virtual background, and I'm just gonna walk my laptop over. I was having issues with the.
Hey, while Rafa's doing that, hey, I got something you might like, man. You got one of those on your car yet?
I do.
You do? All right.
All right, so although the cap just came off a little while ago, but so yeah, that's interior. Close that out. So, you know, I got the butterfly steering wheel. I got that because I had that in my first bomb. I had a 50 Chevy in high school, had to sell that to go to college and pay for the dorm deposit. So I picked this thing up maybe about 3 years ago. Interesting story. I used to have a center console made out of duct tape, but Ray gave me such a hard time that I finally had to put I hid my stereo a little better. But interesting story is this thing's got a 5-speed, but the original engine. So the original transmission was the 3 on the column. You can see the hole right above the steering column. I still need to find a plug for that. But I got the work done down in TJ, and when I drove the car back, right? So I went down to my dog's vet and got some pain medication because he had pulled his hamstring like a week before. And the vet gave me a ready pass for the medical lane, so I was able to drive the car back with a shorter wait. But as soon as I got on the 805, the whole thing just started shaking like crazy, and I ended up having to take the streets all the way from Chula Vista all the way to San Diego. Turns out it was the old bias ply tires were out of round. I thought suspension was messed up, but it wasn't. But I just realized, you know what, I need a car that I can actually enjoy and drive, and you know, the 3 on the tree wasn't going to cut it if I wanted to drive it on the freeway and get around more comfortably. So I wanted that original engine. It was already rebuilt in there, and you know, had spent all that energy getting that rebuilt. So my next option was to keep that and put a T5 from an early 80s S10 in there. And yeah, and then I had to switch out the rear end, put a 56 Bel Air rear end, and you know, now I can cruise it on the freeway 60 comfortably. Pop in the engine. So, you know, original 16. The firewall, all the parts, while the engine was getting rebuilt, I just kept taking parts and painting them. So rides out there that are all fixed up, they look amazing, have a great paint jobs, but they never want to pop open their hood, and I didn't want to have that problem. So I spent a lot of time. We can hear you now, though.
What's that?
I said, no, we can hear you now. So
Okay, good.
you want to just tell us what kind of ride you got? Thank you.
It's a 1960 Chevrolet Bel Air. It's a 4-door. It was supposed to be a father-son project, and my son bailed on me. so it's just me now. If you guys can see it, it's a 4-door. But I like the roof line on it. Rafita's cruising in his, huh?
Nice. What kind of engine you got in there, Lou?
It had a straight 6. It had a straight 6, and I got out and put a V8. So it's. Can you see it?
Yep.
And so it's got a V8 now. I put the 3-core aluminum radiator and did the best I could to hide all the wiring. All the wiring is brand new. I rewired the dash, the engine compartment, all the way back to the trunk. Put disc brakes in the front. And all I got to do is the rear end, and the drivetrain's all redone. And he's getting the exhaust on Friday. So then from there, it's going to go to the shop for the roof's going to get painted, and they're going to paint the, this inner part where the glass goes, so that then I can put the glass in. And then this is the back of it. So it's a work in progress. I'm gonna do it a charcoal gray, like a dark metallic gray, and it's just gonna be all one color. I was gonna two-tone it, but my wife talked me out of it. She wants me to keep it one solid color. It's gonna be.
Was it one solid color before?
I've tried sanding down to see if there's any of the original paint job, and there's not. So I don't know if it was ever two-toned or all one color.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned it was supposed to be a father-son project. Richard's on here, and he said both of his cars were father-son projects. It's the Fleetline and the Malibu you see on there.
Oh, yeah. This is a Fleetline, like a 47, 46, something like that.
Oh, that's a 48 4-door.
Oh, 48.
Yeah, so we picked up this 4-door. It's a 48 4-door. Yeah, the German helmet. A lot of people call them German helmets, but it has all the Fleetline moldings on it. And yeah, I actually got a 2-door Fleetline, Aero sedan. But that one's a bucket right now. So I've been pulling out those hard to find parts for this car from that one. So that one's a donor right now. But I got that 56, 57 rear end for that one, and I think I'm gonna do something special with that.
Yeah.
And then this one's a 65 Malibu. Yeah, man.
What do you have? What do you have under that blue tarp?
Oh, that one? Yeah, I was telling folks about that. That's a 70 Impala convertible.
Ah.
Yeah, so me and my dad do a lot of work on these cars. So me and my dad actually painted this one. We painted it and did all the work on this. But here's the 70 right here, convertible. Yep. So my dad was saying this is how we get them, and then we turn them into princesses.
Right.
Yeah. So this was actually running at one point, and then we started knocking it down and everything. But
all the body work done.
But all the body work, yeah, like you're saying, go for it.
Oh yeah, all the body work done, ready for paint. We got the hydraulics in it. You got to straighten out the motor a little bit, and that's it. This is the next one we're working on now. So
You do all the work, bro?
yeah, this is how we get them, and we turn them into like that.
But yeah, we've been working on these for a long time. I remember the first car we ever got was a 42 Special Deluxe that we pulled out of a junkyard. Where was that at? What city? Junkyard in Moreno Valley, and for $500. And I remember bringing it home, and it still had the Flying Lady on it. And if any of you guys know about those 42s, that Flying Lady is like the relic to find. But I remember working on that car, and we ended up picking up a 51 and did that for a while. But yeah, this is where we're at now, man.
That's cool. Your dad's always been involved. You guys together.
Oh yeah, I mean my dad's the one that pretty much got me into it. He came from out there in LA, from Compton, and he used to paint for different car clubs. Yeah, he was always low riding out there, and when we moved out here, didn't have cars for a long time, and then we slowly got into it, and yeah, so he's been teaching me a lot. I remember I was 15 years old, and the very first car I learned how to drive was at 51 with 3 on the tree. Hardest thing I ever did in my life.
Yeah.
But now I'm a pro, so Yeah.
Oh man.
Does the 48 have this?
My dad was against fixing the cars. He said it was a waste of money. You know, I never had my dad support fixing cars. It was,
Oh yeah.
It was just a love that I acquired. You know, my friends' brothers had them, and you go over their house and you see the brothers working on their cars, and like, man, I want one of these. You know. So,
Yeah.
I think what hurt me the most was selling my 50 Fleetline.
Oh, the 50s. Yeah.
So it was a 1950 Fleetline, and it was all done. But we got into financial problems, and I had to sell it, and my wife even cried when it drove away.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, and that's the one thing that people don't realize is it's never a waste.
Yeah.
You know, because I'll tell you what, there's always somebody out there that wants one of these, and yeah, you know, if they need to go, they got to go.
Yeah.
Did the 50 hurt more than the 63 rag, Lou?
No, that hurt more.
Oh, you had a 63 rag?
Yeah.
He said he had a 50 and a 63 rag that he had to sell. Yeah.
Got any pictures of it, Lou?
You know, I don't know if I have any, but it started, my journey started with this car. I don't know if you guys could see it, but that was back in 1983. So at that time, those cars were the shit, you know, even though it was a pile of shit.
What is it? Is that a Monte or is that a Malibu?
Chrysler Cordoba.
Oh, nice.
And we juiced the back of it and put true spokes on it. And then from there, it went to this car. My first 63, it was white outside and red interior. And then from there, it went to a blue one with blue interior. And then the convertible 63. And for a while, my wife and I had his and hers. She drove the hardtop and the convertible was mine. So it's been a journey. That's how I got Rafita hooked.
Yeah, he started dragging me along to car shows. I would say drag, but I had to beg my parents for permission. Better bike, and that's, you know, we would. I remember we took it to LA once and to Super Show, and he put a bike rack on the 63.
Remember that?
So
I drove that thing everywhere. I didn't put it on a trailer. I drove my car everywhere. Hey, so you know, this whole lowriding thing, you meet so many people, and like you build relationships. And I'm at my daughter's house in Guadalupe, California, and we're outside in the front yard, and I look at this dude like kitty corner from her house, and the dude looks so familiar, and I'm like, I know I've seen that dude somewhere. And you know, he's a tall dude, but he got real big, and so did I. So he was looking at me the same way, like, do I know that guy? So anyway, his name's Louis, and I don't know if you guys could see his picture here, but he now has this Fleetline too. It's like a 47 or 48.
Raise up your phone. We could hardly see it. Yeah.
Yeah, so he's got that, and then he's got this LTD. I'm not really into the newer cars, but he's got that one too. And it was just real weird because we hadn't seen each other like in probably 20, 25 years, and we just took off where we left off from.
Looked like he's so bumpy.
Oh yeah.
Hey, that LTD. Did you recently get that LTD?
He bought it from some guy that I guess it was like all kinds of money. It was all over where you guys buy cars. He paid a lot of money for that car. I think it was like 50 grand.
That's when you get it from Rudy Sandoval.
Oh, yeah. So did he buy it from a guy named Rudy Sandoval?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how much my club.
Yeah, that's who my dad rides with Group.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
he wanted that car so bad.
Yeah, we made a blue one too.
Yeah, he actually made a blue one like that too.
Oh.
My buddy bought the blue one.
Oh,
okay.
did he?
Yeah.
Both of them came out of Lowrider magazine.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I showed.
Small world, right?
Yep.
Hey, man. Hey, just to speak to what you were just talking about, it's all about networking. Everybody knows, start just to know.
I had been window shopping for a while, and you know, I knew Javier had a 51 X-Man, and you know, so I sent him the link to this one. It was sitting in a garage in Chula Vista. The guy's wife told him she wanted the garage empty by Sunday. You know, so we're gonna go look at it, and he, you know, he's like, oh, I need parts for my car. I'll give. The guy wanted like 39, and he just said, you know, I'll give you like 2,000. The guy's like, oh man, you don't offend me, you know, I need the money, but you know, he's like, oh, I just need it for parts, so I don't want to spend more than that. And that's when he nudged me, and I'm like, I'll give you 2,500 cash, and so yeah, I bought it, and just as a spur of the moment thing, I had it towed straight to a mechanic because I still needed some time to figure out how I was gonna tell my wife.
Yeah, I remember that story.
So I think that the compromise was that I was going to paint the top black on it, and she picked the color and was like, nah, it'll look much better with a white top. So that's how it ended up with that color. So sometimes, like Lou was saying, he was going to go two-tone, but you know, Maria wanted it charcoal gray, and you know, sometimes you just have to listen to your better half.
You gotta choose your battles, man.
Hey, Ray, does that one look familiar?
Which one's that?
That's that blue LTD.
Oh yeah. I can't see it. I don't know why. Rafa's face is showing.
Yeah.
That's the one.
Yeah, it's our club members. Tell him he's building a Cordova right now.
Oh, he's actually building a Cordova too right now.
Oh, nice.
That's cool. I like to see that.
Yeah, he's building the one like Montalban had.
Oh, the one like Montalban, huh?
Yeah.
And I'd never even heard of a Cordova until Lou showed me the picture of his.
Yeah, this is bad, man. Real cool.
They were unibody, and the wiring was like the electrical components on it were such pieces of junk, man. I had so many problems. Mine was a 77 Chrysler, and just to lift it, man, it was a pain in the ass. The back was easy because you just weld the cylinders to like a shock. You replace the shock. That was easy, but the front had torsion bars and stuff, and I'm like, I'm done with this car, man. So,
I think they had to reverse the cylinders on those.
Yeah. But I mean, nowadays, you know, they have the ability to like make frames and all that. You know, you pick off that crap and put a real frame on it. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
So this was my fleet line. I don't know if you guys could see it. Let me make it bigger. That one hurt me, man. I always wanted one, and when I had to let it go, I had the skirts custom made. You guys see it?
Was that a 52?
It was a 50.
Well, 50, okay.
Yeah, but the skirts were custom made for me. They cut the
skirts.
Yeah, and they cut the stainless steel molding went past the bumper.
Yeah.
So they cut it and they made it fit. And so I don't know if you can see it right here, but it fit like perfect.
Yeah.
You see how it stops at the.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, around here, all of us ride, even my little boy.
Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah, I had our baby was wearing a little pink Chevy shirt right now. So.
When I got my convertible, this is the color it was, and then I repainted it. The color Rafita showed you guys was like a really light blue.
Turquoise.
Yeah, and then I painted it like a violet almost. Okay. I just did it because I wanted to go custom. I was going to the LA Super Shows and stock wasn't cutting it, man. Once I switched the color and did different stuff to it, I started winning everywhere. This is how it ended up.
Hold it higher, a little bit higher.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Nice.
We had a lot of fun with that car.
Out, and I remember Lou cruising around with his family, and you know, that's what we did on Saturday morning. We went to get some coffee and would turn to a 4-block run for coffee. You know, an hour and a half later, we got home after cruising out to the beach and cruising through downtown, and you know, we've been locked up in the house for a week, so just getting out and getting some fresh air was nice. And You know, cruising is about as safe as it gets because you're not stopping, you're not seeing anybody. You're just...
In the Inland Empire, they've been putting cruises together to just go through neighborhoods. Really, yeah, they're just going through neighborhoods. You know, all the kids are getting restless, so they're just going, giving them something to, you know, just giving them something to watch. You know, different things like that.
Yeah.
Does anybody have any kind of crazy things they've done just to make a ride custom or different or weird? You know, the question I asked for Ray is, what's the craziest thing you've ever thrown wire wheels on? So I'll go first. So I mentioned
I remember that.
I had a 50 bomb in high school, and you know, that was my daily driver. I drove to school every day, and I think it was like the Christmas parade, and right at the end of the parade, as everybody was turning right off of the main street right there in Santa Barbara, I turned right and my steering wheel just started spinning, and I snapped the gearbox for the steering wheel. So, you know, the car was out of commission because that was before eBay, where you could just go online, order one, and have one at your door in 3 days. You either had to go to Pomona or have a parts store track one down somewhere else in the country. So I was, you know, that was my only car. I was now without it. And I had a set of 14-inch Daytons on it, brand new tires. So my grandpa had a cargo van for his grocery store. And he tells me, he's like, hey, you can borrow the van until you get your car fixed, but it needs new tires. And I'm like, well, shit, I don't want to spend money on new tires because, you know, I need the money to pay for the steering box. And then it hit me that that's a GM. The bomb is a GM. So I threw the Daytons on the Astro van. It was hilarious. It had a 4-cylinder with a loud-ass knock, no windows. It had a boom box as a radio, but it had 14-inch Ds with brand new tires on it. So, I think I drove that around for a few months until I finally got the car fixed and then bought my old Cutlass back. But
I bought something with some wires on it that was kind of crazy. It's a 61 Ford, 4-door Galaxy. I thought it was kind of crazy, but other than that, no. Yeah, the wires are still on that Ford. I think they've kind of grown on me, but I wouldn't leave those on there. I think I'd switch it up to like some crossface or something.
What kind of wires were they?
Probably some Chinas. I'm not really sure.
Oh, okay, I get you. Yeah.
Fun, but like I remember back when I was putting together that 51. I was real young. I was like, I think I was like 15 years old, and my dad had some radio equipment, you know, just lying around in the garage. And I'm really big on sound. Like, I want it to boom, man. I want you to hear me. And there was nothing in the 51. You know, it was just straight pipes. It was fun, but there was no radio. And so he told me, hey, if you want to do it, get in there. So I start putting everything together, and, you know, I'm learning as I'm going. And I put it together, and I ended up like wiring like the equalizer up in the trunk and just leaving it back there, like just to get sound, man. Like I just wanted music so bad.
I drove my car everywhere. I didn't trailer queen it. So we're coming out of the Super Show, and you know, it's late at night. Everybody's tired, and we get on the freeway, and my axle slides out. Remember that?
And the interesting thing about that, though, is it was kind of you got saved earlier in the day because it was, you know, that Super Show. As a matter of fact, wasn't that the show wasn't it Ice Cube that went up and asked you if it was for sale?
Yeah.
So anyhow, you blew a solenoid out on the lawn, and then my cousin Juan went and grounded the ground onto the hose, and then remember that it re-grounded itself.
Well, the tap was so hot it melted through the rubber of the hose on the hydraulics, and it made a hole in it. When it touched the metal, it like started the pump again. And so I sprayed oil all over these people's cars next to me. I was like, oh shit, that was not good.
But, you know, the good thing is that it was the rear hose, so you were all the way slammed. So when your axle split, it actually held the tire in.
Yeah. We were going to Tulare to a car show over there, the LG production shows. And I was just with Juan and Ruben. It was just the three of us. I didn't have like a bunch of guys, you know, with the other cars with me. It was just the three of us in my car. And the car started shaking, so we pulled over, and I only had 2 studs. The other 3 broke.
Wow.
I don't know where they broke or why, but they did. And so we decided we were going to fix it right there. So we popped off a stud from the other side, and then one on from the front, and they worked. We ended up using them on the rear right axle, the same one that slid out, and we were able to make it to the show. But I think what made us hurry up was that there was like a pack of coyotes howling like really close to us. We're like, oh shit. It was pretty crazy. Yeah, and then one time, when I first painted the 63, we went to Watsonville, and on the way up there, it started raining, and I didn't have my top done yet. I had the rack all chromed out, but I didn't have the top on it. So I put the boot on, and you couldn't tell. I said, I'll just leave the top down at the show. And so on our way up there, it rained.
I appreciate everybody taking the time to join me here and just talk about cars for my birthday. It was something I wanted to do just to, since you can't go out and have a car show, I figured I would just get some people together to just talk cars and stories, and appreciate all of you getting on and everybody who jumped on earlier who had to get off because kids were screaming or something. So I'm going to end the recording, but feel free to stick on to the donated. I did a fundraiser for our local community center. I think we've raised close to $700 for that. So that money's going to go towards painting the backside of the community center. It's wood siding and the paint's peeling. So definitely needs a little bit of attention. So that's what all the money raised is going to go towards. So I appreciate everybody's help with that. But thanks again. And I'm going to end the recording now. Thank you.
All right. See you, man.
All right. Thanks, guys. Have a good one.